Thanks, James.
We'll open it up. Opening statement from Coach.
Hey, congratulations to Villanova. They made a couple more plays at the end of the game than we did, and I'm really proud of Seton Hall. I thought we fought our all year, all game. We obviously didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and give some credit to Villanova's defense on that. But we're all frustrated because we felt we had a golden opportunity in front of us. But we have a really talented team that takes a lot of pride, starting with the point guard on my left, and we're going to come back and be really good. I mean, we finished the season 11 of our last 13. The lack of respect that we received from the national media and honestly from everyone around is really disgusting and disappointing. I don't understand how we can win 11 of 13 and no one talked about us being one of the best teams. Well, we lost to Creighton in double overtime, and we lost to Villanova in a close game. We beat Villanova before we got here. We beat Creighton yesterday. We've beaten Princeton, which is a top 25 team in the country. We beat Toledo, which only has 4 losses all year, which is a top 60 team in the country. We won at the call. And all everyone did was talk about everybody else. It's disgusting and disrespectful. And those people who just look at the net, then don't fucking cover women's basketball anymore. You got to watch the teams play. Because if we're only going to watch a number, then we don't need anybody out there. We don't. If you're only going to watch a number, then don't cover the game. Cover the game and watch the teams play. We have a damn good team, and the lack of respect we got was disgusting. Go ahead.
I'll take questions for Lauren. Just raise your hand and we'll get the microphone over to you. We'll start in the back row here on the left.
Lauren, you guys made a great run. What was going on? What do you think the difference was there where you were able to do some stuff on offense and then, before they were able to put the finishing touches, it looked like you guys could get back and win the game, actually?
I think the game came down to us getting stops, and we just couldn't do it today. This is like I think this is like the 3rd game in 5 days, so of course we're fourth game. So of course we're tired, but we just didn't do enough to push through. I feel like the game for us came down to defense.
Anything else for Lauren? Over here on the left, we'll get the microphone to you.
Hey, Lauren, in the 3rd quarter, Villanova's up. You guys have been playing a lot the last week. You could have easily folded. They had a lot of momentum, but you guys didn't. Can you describe just the fight that you and your teammates put together to give yourselves a chance at the end of the game?
This is a very competitive group of girls. We don't like to lose, and we knew like 20 minutes left in that game was like do or die time. So I feel like we all came together and we decided like we're just gonna give it all we got and see where that takes us.
Anything else for Lauren? Here we go, right here. Let's get the microphone over to you so we can, our transcribers can get the question.
Sure. Lauren, you play a lot of minutes, so I'm sure you're exhausted, but can you just talk about the relationship with Coach and the trust he has in you to really manage the team the entire game and be the leader that you are?
Coach B has a lot of confidence in me, and that's been built up over the 3 years I've been here at Seton Hall. It hasn't always been easy, but we have a really good relationship now that we built over the last 2 years, and I feel like the whole staff has a lot of trust in me, and I just really appreciate that from them. Like I said, it hasn't always been easy, but they never fail to show me the amount of confidence that they have in me.
Thank you.
Lauren, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll have Katie take you back to the locker room. We'll start here in the back corner. Doug for Tony.
Tony, I wonder if you wanted to expound on your comments from your opening statement.
I do. I think when we're constantly overlooked talking about, getting into a bid and at large, and everyone just says, well, your net is this number. I don't care. You can take my resume and put it next to everybody else. If we're only going to consider the net and we're going to talk about the net for teams, then none of you need to work. Just take a number, take the top 64 teams, and let's just move on. But when you watch Seton Hall play, and yes, our net number wasn't great, not because of anything other than when we started off slow because of COVID and because of injuries, but when we got our whole team back and won 11 of our last 12 games in here, and we're never mentioned, and DePaul is still mentioned, and Marquette is still mentioned, and Villanova should be a lock, that's ridiculous. That's disrespectful. You want to look at my non-league wins versus Villanova non-league wins? They don't compare. We've beaten Princeton. They didn't. And I'm telling you, there's not a bigger supporter here for Villanova than Tony Bozzella. I'm on the committee, the regional committee. I talk about Villanova. I do everything. But to have us not respected and not brought up in numerous meetings and numerous conversations within the league and within the national media is disgusting. And we took it as a chip, so I thank them. But we were one basket away from, or two baskets away from winning the game today. And we were one point away from winning the game at home versus Creighton a couple weeks ago, in which we would have won 13 games in a row. And you would tell us, well, that doesn't matter because your net was 80. What do we have to go 30-0? And the lack of respect our league gets is disgusting. When you talk about getting two teams in from the Summit, from the A10, from the WCC, and you're talking about only two teams from the Big East, are you a fool? Have you not watched basketball? We don't get to play all those teams play. Every game we play is hard. What Lauren Park Lane said was true. We played Tuesday. We chose to play Tuesday to finish our league schedule because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to play all your league games, not pick and choose who you want to play when you want to play. We found a date we could play our last league game, and we flew to Ohio, and we played Xavier on Tuesday. And then we played on Friday, and we played on Saturday, and we played on Sunday. And it's not an excuse, but that's what you're supposed to do. But for us to not get the respect that we have earned is disrespectful. We've earned that respect at Seton Hall. If you don't think we're every bit as good as any of these teams, you just don't watch basketball. So I'm tired of the net, Doug. I really am. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. Because if you think UConn is the 8th or 9th best team in the country, you're a fool.
We have a question on Zoom, and then we'll go to Tim here in the front. Sunil checks in on Zoom. Tony was looking for your assessment, your thoughts on how Cooks and Espinoza Hunter played not only today, but during the course of the season, and what those two specifically have meant to the team this year.
And they've been tremendous players. And Andre helped recruit Sydney, and Sydney's come a long way. And clearly, it's amazing to me, a kid with that skill and that play around the basket takes 1 to 2 foul shots a game. It's just wrong. It's just completely wrong. It's completely wrong. People, all these coaches and all these teams, specifically one, want to splice up tape and talk about fouls and all this stuff. Well, I could splice up a freaking movie that's longer than the 10 Commandments, how many times Sid gets fouled and they don't call it. But I don't, because I give respect to the referees because their job is hard. Other teams in our league don't want to give respect to our team. I choose to. So Sydney had a really good year and is only going to get better. Andres played her heart out for every single game. Gets held, grabbed, pushed, tripped, yelled at, everything, and takes 1 foul shot a game. It's a problem. So maybe that's why it's a little physical on our end every now and then. We didn't get a foul call on Villanova for the first 15 minutes of the game today. 15! What I'm telling you, the officials do a great job. They do their best. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying we are a really good basketball team that deserves the benefit of having a skilled team.
Let's go here to Tim here in the front row.
So, Coach, I know you brought up Andra, and I noticed in the third quarter, Villanova was making an early surge, and you called a timeout, and you gave the official an earful, and Andra, who just hit a jumper, literally jumped right in front of you to intercept and prevent anything from happening. And Andra, and I've seen it on social media, I mean, she's about as ride or die for you, maybe more than any other coach he's ever had. But what does that mean to you for her to, help you out, get in the middle between you and the official and essentially calm things down and maybe set the tone for that comeback that you made in the second half?
Yeah, I just thought our kids needed to know that as coaches we're backing them. And it was really difficult that I don't even know if we had taken a foul shot at that point yet. And our kids are fighting, and it's hard. I mean, we took 4 foul shots last night and 5 foul shots the night before. Like, Jesus. So I want to protect our kids and support our kids, and Andre's just trying to protect me. And that's what family's about. And that's why I love my kids, I love my staff, and I love my school. These kids deserve to be supported and protected.
Anything else for Coach? Raise your hand, we'll get the microphone over to you.
I just want to conclude it. As we talk about the league, there's no doubt in my mind that Villanova is not only an NCAA team, they're a very high seed. So for all this talk about them not being as disgusting, they've won 19 out of their last 21 games. They won at Connecticut. They won home versus Oregon State. They played 8 games without their best player. 6, she didn't play at all. 2, she played with a broken hand. And again, that kid's going out playing with a broken hand to try and support her team. But people watching the net be like, well, she lost. That's ridiculous. So what's the kid supposed to do? Not be a hero? She's one of the best players in the country. She goes out and plays with a broken hand, and she's getting punished for it now, and their team's getting punished? That's absolutely disgusting. Anyone doesn't think they're a top 64 team, not only, I will tell you this right now, when they get in, and they damn well better get in, they will win a game. That's how good they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Villanova's making their 5th ever appearance in the Big East tournament title game, first since '03. Also qualified in '85, '86, and '87. Villanova's on their way.
Down so I forget it. You tried to give the word is too. All right.
All right, we welcome in Villanova. Congrats to the Wildcats. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach and then questions for just the two athletes, and then we'll take questions for Coach. But first, an opening statement.
Yeah, well, we expected a tough battle out there, of course. Big East play, semifinal game, and it was exactly that. Seton Hall is an extremely talented team, and I'm just extremely proud of our group, especially these two to my left, for leading the way and keeping us composed when necessary and coming up with a huge win for our program. And looking forward to tomorrow.
Questions for Brianna or Maddie? Raise your hands and we'll get them over to you. We'll start right here in the front on the left.
Yeah, Maddie, was there an expectation that Seton Hall was going to make a run at you, which kind of has had in the past? And how do you think you were able to survive that run?
Yeah, I mean, just watching them play, they'd go on runs. They're very talented offensively, and they could score very quickly. So we just knew that, all right, that was their run, and we kept calm the whole time, and I think that really helped us, especially with a few of the turnovers. Like we were able to, come back from that.
Anything else for the athletes? We'll go to Doug in the back row, and then we'll go over one to his left.
For both of you, how much do you take or can you learn from the UConn win you guys had a couple weeks ago? And obviously some more at stake here, and you're playing a little bit of a different team with them since they're more healthy or healthier now.
We'll start with Maddie first, then Brianna.
I think you just take it like any other game. You take it one play at a time. I think it's exciting. That was our goal coming here this weekend, to come into the Big East Championship, and we did that. So we'll play 40 minutes tomorrow, Villanova basketball, and hopefully we win.
Yeah, I think we definitely have an expectation that it's going to be a lot harder tomorrow, knowing that they're coming back for a revenge game. So I think we just have that mindset. But we made it to the championship, so we're going to play like we're playing in a championship.
Right here in the back row again.
Question for Brianna. Brianna, you look like you were just on a mission from the first moment of the game, but not only scoring but rebounding. How much of that was fueled by an individual thing that you just didn't want your college career to come to an end?
Yeah, the game at Seton Hall that we lost in the season really stung for me. So I think coming into the game today, I just from the beginning, the mentality was we're going to win this game no matter what. Whatever we had to do, whatever I had to do, I was going to do it. So.
Anything else for the athletes? We'll go to Tim here in the front row.
So this is for the both of you. I know Brianna mentioned that, this is going to be a revenge game for UConn, because they, lost to you guys a month ago. But I feel like for you two, I feel like the number, they're thinking 72-69. I feel like you two must be thinking 84-39, because that was the score here a year ago. Do you think there might be, sure, they might be motivated, but that loss a year ago in this building must be fueling you, maybe even more.
We'll start with Maddie first.
Yeah, definitely. I think that stung for everybody last year. And, especially me personally, I thought about that game a lot. And you just fuel it, use it as fuel in the off season. But I think tomorrow, we got a lot going for us too, I think. And, we're just going to play the best we can. And it's exciting to play in a championship. And I think, we're going to play hard and play well.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think about that game a lot as well. It was just, they came out and they kind of jumped on us from the start, and we kind of folded. I don't want to say that, but so I think this year, going into it, we're all remembering that, and we're using that as fuel to go into the game tomorrow and hopefully come out with a win.
We got time for one more for the athletes here, second row on the left. Yeah, we're going to get the microphone over to you, Jim.
Expanding a little bit on that, you said you kind of folded. Well, tonight you didn't. That was a pretty tough fourth quarter. There were way more turnovers than Villanova usually has, but you did pull it out. And how does that help take that step into the next game?
Is that for both, Jim?
Sure.
All right, we'll start with Brianna this time.
Yeah, I think that seeing how they went on their runs and we were able to, stay calm and just play our own game really shows how we have, matured and the growth that we've had from last season. So I think it's really exciting to go into this game, against UConn, knowing that we have grown that much since last season and now we can sustain, if anyone goes on a run, we're going to be fine and we're going to play our game and, that's how we're going to win games.
Anything to add, Maddie?
Yeah, I think resilience is a big thing with our team this year. I mean, we faced a lot of adversity with like injuries, COVID, and we've had to play in a lot of really close games before. So the good thing is we're not afraid of that moment. We're not afraid to play in the close games.
Great, ladies. Thank you. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks.
See you guys.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions for Coach. Again, we'll start over here on the left with Jim.
Hi, Jim Clark from Women's Hoops World. First of all, excuse me if I'm wrong about what I'm about to say, because there's some stuff going on in my life that's distracted me during this game. But it seemed like yesterday I was watching a really controlled offense, a lot of movement, a lot of passing, and for a period in the third, early in the third, or maybe it was late in the second, I can't remember, but it looked like everything was just, oh, let's just throw it and take the first three we possibly can, and in this case, missing most of them. What happened?
What happened, why we were doing that? Well, they were sagging off us, and the three was open, and we did talk about us getting that shot later in the clock, just continuing to move the ball and execute, and I think we did a better job in the second half of doing just that, but it was really just the allure of I'm open, I'm going to take a shot, and things weren't going our way so much in the second quarter, so players were just trying to make plays, and then we settled in at halftime, talked it over, and made those adjustments in the second half.
We'll go back row, Doug, and then we'll come up to the front row here.
Hey, Denise, Doug Feinberg, the AP. I got two questions for you. The first one is, what did you take, or what can you take away from the last time you played UConn a couple weeks ago? And the second one is, Tony just gave a pretty fiery speech about disrespect for not only his team, but the Big East. And he gave you guys a lot of credit for being a team that shouldn't even have been in the bubble to begin with. So just your thoughts on this conference and how strong it is going forward for the NCAA committee.
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly it. The Big East is an incredible league, and it's a great league, and UConn has obviously dominated when they were here some years back, and then came in last year and did the same, and I think just the conversation was shrinking the scoring gap. All of our teams, the coaches were discussing that, and you saw it happen this season, and then obviously us pulling the win out a few weeks back was huge, and I just think that is why the league deserves more recognition, and that we should be in that, not just the conversation, but we should be on that board as well for the NCAA tournament. And it's just an example. It just gave our group that understanding and confidence to know that they can. We talk about competing nationally and us wanting to be in that position, and it showed that we are capable of doing that, and it's obviously what has gotten us to this point playing in a championship game.
Front row on the left here.
Coach, in the past, you've talked about situational basketball at the end of the game, and your experienced players had to lead you. Can you talk about what those experienced players did at the end of the game?
Right. Well, it was, again, it was tough down the stretch, that fourth quarter. And you're looking, you see, like, you have a lead, and how quickly Seton Hall can score and come back. And, we were getting the ball in Maddie's hands, which everybody's aware that you're going to. And I have to tell you, it was probably her biggest assist she made, kicking that ball out to Lior, and Lior knocking that shot down. Lior, as a sophomore, just her sheer will, like what she's looking to do out there, she's really unassuming. You're like, oh, okay, Lior's just hanging out, and then next thing she's driving to the basket, and then she gets that big three, and you can see the fire. So it just showed, again, Maddie didn't just try and make a play knowing it was down the stretch. She relied on her teammates once again, and a huge assist and great shot for Lior, just for us to feel a little bit more of a cushion at that point.
We're going to go left second row and then left third row.
You've talked all year just about like Lucy and her ability to kind of take care of the ball for you and keep you guys calm. How big was she down the stretch when Seton Hall started to add the pressure?
Yeah, well, I think down the stretch, most definitely, but just throughout the contest, I mean, she had somebody on her hip throughout the game, and I think Lucy just hears it every day when she's playing. Every time she's dribbling that basketball, she's just realizing, take care of the ball, don't turn it over. What pressure she has seen throughout this season is only going to I think Lucy's a great player right now. I just think that the sky's the limit with what she's capable of doing for us, and as her role continues to develop. But today, yeah, she wasn't fazed. She wanted the ball in the backcourt. She wanted to be up there, like breaking the press, and she was making some good decisions there as well. But when you're being pressed like that, you need all five involved. It couldn't just be Lucy and Lior, and I think we were relying a little bit too much on that. We got to make a quick adjustment before tomorrow.
We go back row here left, and then we'll go middle row all the way on the right.
John Nevels, congratulations. There seems to be like an expectation on this team to win games. I didn't see that at the beginning of the year, and now it's almost like they think we're going to win these games. Is there a time or a game or an event that you could pinpoint that you just saw that attitude adjustment?
Yeah, well, the expectation was certainly placed on the team early, and it's a conversation you're having in the preseason workouts when practice started officially. But it really came down to us then having the conversation of, it can't be us, like what the coach's expectation is. It has to be a decision that the team makes as to what they want to be, or we're just fighting against each other. And I think when that happened, they were aware, like, oh, okay, yeah, we got to make a decision. How good are we willing to be this season? It was the turning point, really, again, when we got everyone back. When Maddie returned, we battled through some games and came up with wins, just fighting till the end. And it was the Lehigh game. I saw a lot more grit from our group, them gaining confidence without Maddie on the floor. And then when she got back, I think I would say it was the Oregon State game. I said, I think that's when the game just slowed down for this team. Like they were listening, they were tuned in, they were working together, and coming up with a big win, a top 25 win at that point, just showed they were like, oh, okay, then maybe we are capable of doing something. And again, led by Maddie and Brianna with the conversations, taking young players under their wing, just doing everything necessary for Brianna to have her best last year. And as I said, Maddie being one of the best players in the country, it's not just about her putting numbers up. She knew that she needed to lead her team to be national contention.
We've got time for one more question. We're going to go here in the middle row on the right.
With UConn tomorrow, how do you plan on slowing down or stopping AZ's butt? I know last time you guys played, you had nearly 30 points.
Well, there's many UConn players that need to be slowed down and stopped. But yeah, I think with AZ, just her ability to get shots off from the three, a pull-up jumper, she can score in so many different areas. Just counting on, again, the understanding of less touches allows less attempts. So putting that assignment out there for the team. But with UConn, you got to honor each and every one of the players that's on the floor. So we got to step up our defensive game, of course, and be able to execute what we want to on offense. At this point of the season, it comes down to you got to make shots. Like you got to make shots and get those stops. So it's irrelevant if you're coming up empty on one end or the other.
Coach, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sure. Thank you. Go Cats.